Oh, thank you, Chair, and all the members and everyone present. I'm Susan Kihika, Governor, Nakuru County.
So we go to agenda number 3, administration of oath of witness and tabling of documents. And in this case, Governor, you will help us. Okay, you can carry the Bible or touch the Bible.
Touch it, okay. I, Susan Kihika, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before this committee in respect of the matters before the committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. Thank you. And now I'm tabling the documents. On Chair, I hereby table the following documents before the committee: the management responses and accompanying annexures on 1, Nakuru Water and Sanitation Services Company Limited for financial year 2023 to 2024. 2, Nakuru Rural Water and Sanitation Company Limited for financial year 2023 to 2024. 3, Naivasha Water and Sanitation Company Limited for financial year 2023 to 2024. And then 4, Nakuru City financial year 2023 to 2024. 5, Naivasha Municipality for financial year 2023-2024. And 6, the Nakuru County Referral Hospital for financial year 2023-2024. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very well. Auditor, please confirm to this committee that you had an opportunity to look through the responses and that the responses tabled before us are meeting the minimum standards and they were processed within the required timelines.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to confirm that we have looked at the responses and the supporting annexures and confirm that we have verified them and they were provided within the set timelines. So we are ready to proceed, Chair.
Okay. Can I get the same assurance from the clerk?
Chair, the Office of the Clerk received the documents within the set timelines by the committee. We were able to go through them and we are ready to proceed.
Okay. That's a good sign. So, honorable members, as I said, we start with the Nakuru City. I hope you've been supplied by the responses for Nakuru City. So at this point, I request the auditor to give us a brief of this report and proceed as agreed in the pre-meeting.
Thank you, Chair. This is the report of the Auditor General on Nakuru City for the year ended 30th June 2024. Chair, this report received an adverse opinion. And Chair, the basis for the adverse opinion has 5 paragraphs, which I wish to read as follows. Paragraph number 1 is on inaccuracies of the financial statements. Review of the financial statements presented for audit revealed the following. 1, the financial statements reflect comparative balances which differ with the corresponding balances reflected in the prior year audited financial statements as detailed in the table as shown. Number 2, the statement of changes in net assets reflect nil funds received during the year. However, the revenue schedule on funds received from World Bank during the year and a review and statement of cash flow reflects an amount of Kenya shillings 25,568,458. Management has not provided any explanation for the variance between the two sets of records. Number 3, The statement of cash flows reflects purchase of property, plant and equipment and intangible assets amount of 414,124,981. However, note 24 to the financial statements reflects assets additions for the year amount of 467,059,955, resulting in an unexplained variance of 52,934,974. Further, the statement does not indicate the effect of the increase in trade and other payables amount of 5,053,755 on the cash flows of the municipality for the year as required. In addition, the statement does not indicate the corresponding notes to the financial statements where the amounts contained therein are to be found. Number 4, the statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts reflects original budget and final budget revenue and expenditure amounts of 410,816,577 and Kenya shillings 537,474,258 respectively. However, the approved and final supplementary budget in support of the adjustment of 126,657,681 for both revenue and expenditure were not provided for audit review. Further, the statement reflects actual on comparable basis transfer from the county government amount of 509,882,937. However, the statement of financial performance figure reflects a balance of 121,326,414, resulting in an unexplained variance of 388,556,523. In addition, the statement of actual on comparable basis interest income amount of 4,556,774. However, the statement of financial performance amount reflects an amount of 5,331,267, resulting in an unexplained variance of 774,493. The statement further reflects nil actual amounts in respect of use of goods and services, board expenses, repairs and maintenance, and total expenses. However, the statement of financial performance reflects amount of 28,068,595, 1,884,400, 773,052, and 52,433,512, resulting in unexplained variances of 28,068,595, 1,884,400, 773,052, and 52,433,512 respectively. In the circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of the financial statements could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair.
That is query number 1.
Yes, Chair, that is query
just
number 1.
Just read query number 2 and 3 because they are similar.
Thank you, Chair. Number 2 is on failure to prepare trial balance. The trial balance in support of the balances in the board's financial statements for the year ended 30th June 2024 was not submitted for audit, and therefore the basis upon which the amounts reflected in the statements were arrived at could not be confirmed. This is contrary to paragraph 27 of International Public Sector Accounting Standards, number 1, which states that financial statements should present fairly the financial position, financial performance, and cash flows of the board. In the circumstances, the reliability of the balances reflected in the financial statements could not be confirmed. Number 3 is on variance between the financial statements and the ledger. The statement of financial performance reflects use of goods and services amount of 28,068,595. Review of records provided for audit revealed that the various expenditure components had amounts that were at variance with the supporting schedules or ledgers as detailed in the table which is shown in the report. Consequently, the accuracy and completeness of the use of goods and services amount of 28,068,595 could not be confirmed. Thank you, Chair. That is issue 2 and 3.
Very well. Her Excellency, you can respond to the 3 queries.
Thank you, Chair. For the first query, we'll take it in bits. So for one, on Chair, we agree with the auditor's finding that the financial statements reflect comparative balances which differ with corresponding balances reflected in the prior year. We wish to clarify that Kenya shillings 543,663,693.68 was the closing balance as at 30th June 2022, as supported by the Certificate of Bank Balances and Bank Statement. Appendix 1.1 is a Certificate of Bank Balance and Bank Statement. The surplus deficit for the year has since been amended in the financial reporting template. Then 2 under 1, or is it, how do I say that? Query 1 still, number 2, or let's say B. Okay, 2, on Chair, we agree with the auditor's findings that the statement of changes in net assets reflect nil funds received during the year, while the revenue schedule of funds received from World Bank during the year under review reflected that an amount of 25,568,458.20. The management has regretted the anomaly and has since corrected the error in the financial statements. Under statement of changes in net assets for the year ended June 30th, 2024, on page 4 of the reporting template. 3 of audit query 1. On Chair, we agree, or page 5. On Chair, we agree with the auditor's findings on property, plant and equipment, the PPE and intangible assets amounting to 414,124,981, and in note 24 of the financial statements reflected on an amount of 467,059,955, which represents development projects of 52,433,511.52, which was the development expenditure on equitable share. Additionally, it's good to clarify that the financial reporting template did not have corresponding notes on statements of cash flow as guided by the Public Sector Accounting Standards Board. Number 4 of 1, page 6. On Chair, we agree with the auditor's findings on errors found in the budget. Kenya shillings 126,657,680.79 represents payment by county on behalf of the entity of Kenya shillings 95,757,955.92, and conditional development grants of Kenya shillings 25,568,458.20, and interest income of 5,331,266.67. The amount of 509,882,937 is total expenditure, which comprises of equitable share and urban development grant expenditure. The management has regretted the anomaly and has since corrected the error in the financial statement and the statement of comparison of budget and actual amounts for the year ended June 30th, 2024, on page 6 of the reporting template. Now, audit query number 2. Honorable Chair, we would like to clarify that during the audit, management submitted the trial balance to assist in verifying the accuracy of the ledgers, and it was duly accepted. It's Appendix 2, the trial balance. Page 9, which is audit query number 3. Honorable Chair, the management provided all ledger schedules to the auditor at time of audit. That's on page 9. I think we stopped there.
Yeah. Auditor, what is your comments on the management responses for the 3 queries?
Thank you, Chair. On the issue of inaccuracies of the financial statements, we wish to state that the responses are not satisfactory, since the financial statements had already been certified and a report issued. So the explanations and support documentation were provided after. Chair, we can only be able to confirm this when we are carrying out the audit of the subsequent financial year, because it will require that the financial statements for 2023-2024 be restated. So, Chair, with your permission, we can verify that when we are doing the current audit for 30th June 2025. So that is why, Chair, we have said the status is not sufficiently addressed. For the issue of failure to prepare the trial balance, Chair, the trial balance was provided after the audit and was not provided during the audit. That is why the issue was raised. Again, Chair, because this will go hand in hand with the restatement of the financial statement, then that can be confirmed when we are doing the audit for 30th June 2025. And Chair, the same applies to the variance between the financial statements and the ledgers, specifically for the use of goods and services expenditure component. Chair, the ledgers were provided but had variances as raised in our audit report. And again, Chair, because this has an implication on the restatement of the financial statements, this can also be addressed when we are carrying out the audit of the subsequent year. Thank you, Chair.
So maybe before you stop, can you respond to the response on query 2 and 3, that you are provided with the trial balance during the audit, and you are also provided with the ledger schedules during the audit?
Chair, for query number 2 on the trial balance, Chair, that was not provided during the audit. Query number 3, as I stated, Chair, the ledgers were provided but had variances which were not addressed as at the time of the report. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, maybe Governor, if you have further comments.
Yes, I'll have the city manager kindly address that.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. We provided the document that is on, we submitted to the Office of the Auditor General on 19th December 2024 with a forwarding letter, and here we have the evidence received and the stamp from the Auditor General Office. So during the 19th of December, and the auditing was going up to that 1st December. And here we have the evidence that we submitted.
So whose word can we take as a committee? Because the auditor says never provided. You said it was auditor. Maybe Mark, you can respond to this. I thought you always have documents that you exchange among yourself, and there is an exit meeting.
Yes, thank you, Chair. On behalf of the Auditor General, is that the process of audit, as enumerated in Section 31 of the Public Audit Act, at the beginning of every audit, Chair, we do undertake or do issue a letter of understanding, which, of course, tells the client these are the documents that we'll be requiring as we begin the audit. And before we even start the audit, we have an entry meeting. And in the entry meeting, we plan and agree that these are the timelines within which we intend to undertake our audit. And we agree that these are the documents that we shall provide. In the course of the audit, Chair, we keep requesting for these documents. And at the end of the meeting, audit, Chair, we do have an exit meeting where we request these documents even further. After that, Chair, we do what is called a management letter, where we enumerate some of the issues that we have not been able to agree on during the exit, and further give the client additional time to respond or to give the documents required. Chair, if those are not provided, we then do what is called a draft report. Chair, draft report basically shows these are the issues that are going to the report, and if there's any documentation that you need to provide, then provide it at this time. And if you do that, then so the issues are considered addressed. When that fails, Chair, that's when that issue now appears in the audit report. Chair, I wish to point out that in this case, even though the documents may have been provided on the 19th, it's very likely, Chair, that the audit had already concluded by then. And if they had received this draft report and the ML, then if they had provided these documents at that time, then it would have been within the timelines and would have been able to address this issue. So, Chair, the 19th may have been the date provided, but maybe by then the certificate had been issued or the audit had been concluded. So maybe my colleague from the Nakuru County can confirm on that. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I wish to confirm that by the time these documents were being provided, the audit process had concluded, and submissions made to the Auditor General for issuance of the report. Thank you, Chair.
I think the both parties. You need to ensure that all the documents that are required are available, so that when you come before the Senate, it doesn't look like a back and forth thing. Yeah, because the timelines are very clear in law. The Public Audit Act is very clear on when the process should start and when the process should end.
More radio, 88.2 FM. We are in charge.